Now, one thing I sometimes heard is like the worst thing a voice actor can do before a session is drink a big glass of milk. But on the flip side, one I found out on the during the dubbing of Lunar video game, like one of the characters was hacking and dying, and he purposely, for effect, drank a bunch of milk. Have you ever done anything like that before?
I'm allergic to milk, so I think that would be a really bad idea.
The scene is dying, so it would be really good.
No, no.
You're not a bad actor. Mike used to have us eat things if in Fullmetal Alchemist. If they were eating on the screen, he would buy donuts and stuff like that.
Asking about doing things like there was a character, like did you do something like drinking milk is bad for your voice to affect a certain sound? But yeah, I mean, obviously not drinking milk because that would be really stupid for me to do. But yeah, eating and drinking definitely. If my character is eating, I will. A lot of times in the studio I have like a banana or a granola bar or something, and I'll eat because. The other trick, if you actually don't have anything to eat, is you put one of your fingers in your mouth while you're recording, and that's kind of a way to affect the sound, and it's pretty good. But yeah, if you're actually, I usually find actually eating or drinking something.
Yeah, I've made myself sick several times, jamming lemon cookies in my mouth, because the character was eating, or powdered sugar donuts. Yeah, that has a life of its own. That's right. But,
Mel Blanc, who did Bugs Bunny, was actually allergic to carrots. And they tried different things like celery, apples, and stuff, but none of it made the right sound. So he would eat a carrot while he was talking, he'd spit it out in a trash can after he did the line.
Oh, wow.
It was going really?
Yeah. A lot of times, this is a real subtle thing, but I think it's relevant to your answer. Whenever I'm recording a character, a lot of times I will put myself in the same body posture as the character.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, for instance, if the character is sitting there like this while he's talking, as subtle as it may be, that'll affect the way you sound a little bit, Or this, or this, you know what I mean? So, when you're able to, again, remember, we're in a closet. but when you're able to, it's neat to get into the physical posture of the character, because there are very subtle ways that it tends to translate and connect with the character.
I'm glad to hear you say that. And
yeah.
You agree.
I not only do I agree, I think it's almost like a reflex reaction, like you hit your knee and your foot kicks out. Because I can remember many years ago recording something, and the character that I was voicing on the screen was looking at her hand, something like this, and then all of a sudden I realized I was doing it too. What on earth am I doing? And I'm sure that doesn't have any effect on what my voice sounds like, but
maybe it does.
I don't know, you just find yourself mimicking.
There are some voice actors who will sit in a chair and not move. And I don't know how they do that.
No, I don't understand.
I've punched microphones many times in fight scenes. Because I know exactly what the character is doing.
Yeah, one thing when Vic mentioned a show called Princess Nine, and it was about these baseball teams.
Yes.
And what Matt did, Matt Greenfield was the director, and he took some old scripts and bound them up with some masking tape, and that was our bat. And then we had one of those little stress balls that has sand in it, and that was our baseball, so that you could get that kind of exertion sound. We had to, throw the ball, or when we had to take a swing in the bat, we kind of had a prop there. And one of the funny stories relating to that is there was like some $1,000 microphone in the booth that Monica whacked crap out of that. She knocked that thing to the ground. So you have to be careful.
We were recording Fullmetal, and there was a fight scene, and I was really into it, and I'm watching, and I'm kicking and stuff and making the sounds, and we were halfway through the fight scene, and the engineer stopped, and he goes, "What is that? I keep hearing this this real low-end rumble." You know what it was? The booths, the recording booths at the time at Funimation were suspended off the ground, much like this platform. And when I was fighting, I would go, and I was jumping up and down. And then you could hear this stomping sound. Vic, you can't leave the ground, man.
That's a tricky thing, because like usually if there's something that's running, you kind of have to make that sound like you're running, the breathing. Well, obviously you can't pick your feet up, but a lot of times what I'll do is I just kind of get my legs going back and forth, kind of try to build up some momentum, and that helps me anyway. And another thing that we did on FMA to affect a certain sound is that Al, when Aaron was recording, he used this metal bowl, and it was identical to the bowl that they used in Japan, a special bowl, plastic, bowl. So my character spends many episodes inside Al's suit of armor. And so when I recorded it, I also had to use the holy bowl. And anyway, that was very interesting, but it was kind of a delicate thing to work with because the bowl was here and the microphone's on the other side of the bowl. So that's how you got the sound. But if you accidentally hit that bowl, oh my gosh, the sound that goes through the drums with the headphones is very, very bad.
Yeah, I was recording once and there was this weird noise they were picking up. It was like under all these lines, these fighting lines. And we couldn't figure it out what it was for a long time. And then we just, well, let's just go ahead and record. And then as I was doing it, I went, oh, I know what it is. It's my shirt. Because I was moving like this. I had a cheap shirt on, and it was just going shh, shh, shh. So from then on, I wore really loose clothing when I record.
Now you're naked in the booth. I absolutely.
You can freeze up your spirit more, yeah. And then, not only that, usually the director and the ADR guy, they're naked too.
Oh yeah, they want to put you at ease, you know, they want to make you comfortable.
Well, it really doesn't.